More than 1 billion barrels of oil have failed to reach the global market this year. That's the estimate offered by Sultan Al Jaber, chief executive of the UAE's state oil company, describing what he called the most severe energy supply disruption in history. For the UAE, that number is a production and logistics problem. For anyone paying for gasoline, heating, or goods shipped by sea, it arrives as higher prices. On May 15, 2026, the UAE responded by fast-tracking a pipeline built specifically to avoid the choke point that caused the loss in the first place. The disruption traces back to February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched a joint military campaign against Iran. Iran responded by effectively shutting the Strait of Hormuz, a blockade that has been in place since early March. Roughly 20% of global oil supply has been affected as a result, and energy prices have moved higher along with it. The International Energy Agency has since warned that global oil supply could fall below demand in 2026 if the conflict continues and Hormuz remains constrained. That's not a forecast about tanker traffic. It's a warning about whether the world has enough oil to meet its own consumption. Iran has backed the blockade with more than a declaration. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has published maps asserting new zones of control over the Strait and the Gulf of Oman, and it has carried out drone and missile strikes on UAE oil facilities, including a gas processing plant near Habshan and the port of Fujairah itself. Those strikes have forced temporary halts to loadings at Fujairah on multiple occasions. Saudi Arabia's Red Sea port of Yanbu, the terminus of its own bypass pipeline, has been hit as well. The infrastructure built to avoid the conflict has not been able to avoid it entirely. Fujairah's importance goes beyond oil. The port also handles food imports and other non-oil trade for the region. When strikes disrupt loadings there, the interruption doesn't stay contained to crude exports. It reaches the same supply chains that move food and consumer goods, tightening costs for people who have no direct connection to the oil industry at all. Before this year, the UAE already had one way around the strait. The Habshan-Fujairah Pipeline, also called the Abu Dhabi Crude Oil Pipeline, connects Abu Dhabi's onshore fields to the port of Fujairah on the Gulf of Oman. It typically moves around 1.5 million barrels a day, with a design capacity of up to 1.8 million. During the current disruption, the UAE has redirected additional crude through that pipeline to keep exports moving. But the volume it can reroute is capped well below the country's total production, which is why the existing pipeline alone hasn't been enough to offset the loss from Hormuz. That gap is what the new pipeline is meant to close. On May 15th, Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Khaled bin Mohammed bin Zayed directed the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company during an executive committee meeting to fast-track construction of the West-East Pipeline, a second line running parallel to the existing route. The stated goal is to double export capacity through Fujairah by 2027. The project was already under construction before the acceleration order. What changed in May was the timeline, not the plan itself. The decision connects to a broader shift already underway in the UAE's production strategy. On May 1, 2026, the UAE withdrew from OPEC, freeing itself from the group's production quotas. ADNOC is now targeting a production capacity of 5 million barrels per day by 2027, with officials indicating the UAE could raise output as high as 6 million barrels a day. Reaching that level requires export infrastructure that can move oil regardless of what's happening at Hormuz. The current pipeline, built for a fraction of that volume, cannot support that ambition on its own. The UAE isn't alone in this response. Saudi Arabia expanded its own east-west pipeline to a capacity of 7 million barrels per day, keeping a majority of its pre-war exports flowing, even with the strait disrupted. Together, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the only Gulf producers with pipeline infrastructure that lets them export crude without passing through Hormuz at all. Kuwait, Iraq, Qatar, and Bahrain have no equivalent bypass. Their exports and the government revenue and jobs tied to them remain entirely dependent on a strait that has already been blockaded for months. This is the pattern behind the UAE's decision. Not an isolated project, but part of a region-wide move away from treating Hormuz disruptions as temporary shipping problems. Saudi Arabia built its capacity up first. The UAE is now matching it. Every barrel of new pipeline capacity is a barrel that no longer depends on the strait staying open, and a barrel that Iran's blockade cannot touch, regardless of how long the conflict continues. As of the most recent construction updates, the new pipeline is roughly half complete. It is not yet operational, and its 2027 target date sits well beyond the current disruption. That gap matters. The blockade shows no confirmed end date, and the infrastructure meant to answer it won't be ready for at least another year, which means the disruption's core damage, higher prices, tighter supply, exposed shipping routes, has to be absorbed in the meantime using only what already exists. What already exists is limited. The current pipeline helps, but comes nowhere close to replacing what the UAE would normally export through the strait. Saudi Arabia's expanded pipeline covers more ground, but Kuwait, Iraq, Qatar, and Bahrain have nothing comparable, leaving a meaningful share of the Gulf's total export capacity with no bypass option at all. The IEA's warning about global supply falling below demand in 2026 was made with this exact gap in mind. Infrastructure decisions made this year, arriving too late to offset the disruption happening right now. Where things stand today is this. The Strait of Hormuz remains blockaded. The UAE's new pipeline is under construction and roughly halfway finished, with a 2027 completion date that hasn't moved despite the acceleration order. The existing pipeline continues operating at its current ceiling, still short of what full replacement would require. Iranian strikes have continued hitting the infrastructure on both ends of these bypass routes, at Habshan, at Fujairah, and at Yanbu, showing that even the alternative to Hormuz carries its own exposure. More than 1 billion barrels of oil that would have reached the market under normal conditions have not, and that loss is still being felt in the price of energy for people who have no direct connection to the Gulf at all.